Hey everyone, good morning. So today we are going to start Salesforce security. So we'll start from profile and permission set. So I'm just going to share my screen and let's get started. So if my screen is visible, that would be in a second. Hope it's visible. All right. So now Salesforce security. Basically, first of all, why do we use Salesforce security? So this concept comes whenever we want to make some data confidential. So if we are having some database tables, so we are having some kind of database columns, or we have some records. So we always, whatever the competitor we are having in the market, so if we'll not keep our data secure, definitely our data might be leaked, and any other competitor can take a benefit of our data, right? So definitely we'll not lose our data anyhow. So now Salesforce bring few features in Salesforce. There is few terms where we can say Salesforce security. Under the Salesforce security, we are having profile, role, permission set. We are having like record level securities. We are having so many concepts. So in our coming videos, we'll see all the concepts and we'll try to cover all the interview questions. Okay. So our first question is, we are having two type of object. We are having setup object, we have non-setup object. Setup object, basically we can say whatever the object related to security, where we can say user profile, permission set, all these objects comes under the setup objects. Okay. So whatever the rest objects we have, so where we can say account, contact, opportunity, or any other custom objects like we create as per our requirement, all are the non-setup objects. So this is quite important question. So sometimes we might get a question in different way. So if we are facing we are getting some exception, let's say mixed DML exception. So how to resolve that issue, and what is mixed DML exception? So mixed DML exception definitely comes whenever we are having a setup and non-setup object. We'll try to insert the records on that time. So we get this mixed DML exception, and we resolve that error with various ways, like using future method or something else, right? So it will break the transaction between setup and non-setup object. So initially we will insert our setup object, and on the scope of setup object we will insert the non-setup object. So I'll explain all these things in coming videos, but yeah, just giving you the just on a high level brief for the setup and non-setup. So setup comes mean to say like security related, and non-setup without security. So now we are having profile. So what is profile in Salesforce? So this is also a kind of very like they can ask this question because it's a quite basic question as per the fresher level. But yeah, you should know. So profile is nothing. So where we can access our object data, we can have some fields, application page layouts, record types, so many things we can access using with the help of profiles. Without profiles, we cannot have any user in the Salesforce side. Okay. So they can do anything within the applications, whatever they want to do. So for example, if I'll give the profile example, let's say you are joining any company. Okay. If you are joining any company, you are a sales representative. You need to sell, let's take example, I'm in the real estate company. So there are some flats, some plots, and I'm selling those plots for my company. I'm an employee for that company. Okay. Sorry, I'm an employee for that company. So what I will do, I'll go to different vendors and I'll showcase my product and all, right? So definitely, what would be my profile? So there should be some tag on my profile. I would say I'm a sales representative, right? So whatever the access is required to give me, so there would be a one system admin in the in the company. So they will have all the rights. They can do all the things. We can say it has an admin access. It means it has all the access whatever within the applications, right? So now they have created system admin will create my profile, and my profile will have that relevant access only which I need required for my work. So I would not be able to do all the things whatever system admin can do, right? I am a sales representative. I'm not the kind of I don't have that much privileges in this company. So that is a profile. It can be anything. Let's say we are saying Salesforce developer is a profile. We can have a Java developer is a profile. It can be anything. So similarly, we are having two type of profile. We can have a custom profile. We can have a standard profile. Standard profile comes whenever we create a new org or automatically provided by the Salesforce side. So standard profile, let's say we have a system admin and we are having so many chatters and all other profiles we have. Okay, so custom profile we cannot create by clicking on the new button, so we have to create a custom profile by cloning the application. Now I'll go to the Salesforce side and I'll show you how can we create a profile and all. So these are the profiles we have. If I'll click on the new button, so I don't get an option to create a new means directly profile. So we have to take a clone from the existing profile, right? So these are my then custom profile would be created. So now these are the profiles which is we can say which is not ticked. These are the standard profile and ticked one is the custom profile. So now you got to know what is custom and standard. So now we have a one important question in interview: what is difference between role and profile? So role is basically optional whenever we create a user in Salesforce. So it is not required to create a not required to populate the role in the users. Okay, so but profile is mandatory because without profile we cannot have any user. Okay, role can control the record level access where we can have senior junior hierarchical tree, but in the profile level we cannot have this hierarchical tree where senior can see the junior record, junior cannot see senior record. So on profile level, so this is object level access, field level access, and so many other permissions we can give with the help of like profile. Okay, so now another question is quite important questions we are getting. I have listed down few questions here. So can we provide the record level security with profile? Definitely we can say yes and we can say no. So we have both the answers for this one. So if I'll go with yes, so I'll show you. So let's take example. I'll go to any of the profile. Let's say web SFDC sales profile or something. Yep. So here, how can we say we can give the record level access and we can say we cannot give the record level access with profile? So we have object level security. Yeah, we have a standard object permission or custom object permission. So you can see we are having read access here, right? So read access basically we have one of the record level, right? But here quite important thing is view all and modify all. So now view all we need to give and we have read as well. So what is difference between read and view all? So this is very important question. So for that you should know what is difference in that. So view all mean to say, let's say your OWD is private in Salesforce and you have given you don't given the view all access. So what will happen? Whatever the records owner will be there. So if I am the owner of the record, then I will only be see my record. Okay, so if I'm not the owner of that record, definitely I would not be able to see that record by default if I'll make it false. But in case if I'll make it true, so what will happen? If OWD is still private, then we'll not be able to like we can see all the records in the database. View all means all the records in database. Okay, so if you have an account object, so OWD is private and view all is true, then I will be able to see all the records. So it means we can say this is kind of one of the record level security. And modify all means we can modify all the records. If this is false, then we can only view all the records, we will not be able to modify all the records. Okay, whatever the owner we have, so only they can modify their own records only. But best way is we need to make it false, because why we need to show this record to everyone, right? So this is the one of the things which we need to take care while like creating a profiles and all. Okay, so I told you we have two options. One is we can say read level access. Second, we are saying like we cannot have record level access. Okay, so record level access we have because we all we have, and another one is we can use with the help of OWD. Second is, let's say we are having 100 user in Salesforce and our client want 90 users should have a account object read and write access, and 10 users should have only the read access. How can we achieve this requirement? So we are having a two option to achieve this requirement. So basically whatever the 10 users we have, so first of all on the profile level initially we are having read write access. So what we will do, we will remove read write access, we'll only keep the read access only. So we'll keep only read access. So all the users, 100 user will be having a read access on that time, right? If I'll keep read access and I'll assign this profile to the all the users, so what will happen? All will have a read access. Now requirement is we want to give read write access to the 90 user. So how we will do that? So we will create a permission set and we'll assign that permission set to the 90 users. Okay, that is the first way. Second way is, so what we will do, so tomorrow, today it is a 90 users where we are giving a read write access. Tomorrow it can be 1000 users. I'm just giving just on a high level example. It can be 200 users, 500 or anything. So on that time we should create new profile. If user count is increasing, we can create a new profile and we can give read access to this profile, and this we can assign to the 10 users, and another profile we can give read write access, and that profile we can assign to the another 90 users. So these are the two ways. Third question is, what is custom permission in Salesforce on profile level? So custom permission basically like playing the very important picture in this role. So if we, it's a kind of one of the mediator between the anything. So if I'll show you custom permission, so we have this custom permission. So custom permission example is, let's say we have a validation rule. In that validation rule, I want like this validation rule should be only work for the few users. Okay, this validation rule should work only few users and it should not work for other user. So what I will do, I'll create a custom permission from quick find box, and after creation of the custom permission, I'll give that custom permission access on the profile level or on the permission set level. So we have one second, we have custom permission. Yeah, we have enable custom permission. So I'll go there. Let's say I have created this company address and this is my company address. I have created this one and I have given this access to this profile and I have saved it. So now this custom permission I can assign anywhere. If I have a flexi page, dynamic page, there we can, let's say some user can see these few buttons, and there is a requirement. Let's say we are having 10 buttons. We are saying 5 buttons should be visible to one user and other user cannot see those buttons. So I'll create a custom permission and I'll give that permission to that flexi page on the button level, and that custom permission we can assign on the profile level. Okay, so now we have difference between viewable and modify already mentioned. Now why can't we remove the access from the admin level? So reason behind this is because we have standard profile. System admin is a standard profile, right? So if I'll give to the profile, so in this profile we have system admin. If I'll click on edit button, so I'll go to the object level. So here we have account is completely read only, right? We cannot remove anything. So that's why we always say like system, this is a system admin. Yes, admin has all the access, right? So that is the reason. Now we can say, can we restrict the access on certain fields on the within the, yeah, in the, with the help of profile we can do that. So if we are having some fields and we want like this field should not be work for one user and this field should be work for another user, definitely we can go with the profile and permission set. So we can remove that access from the profile level and we can assign that to the permission set and that permission set with the user. Okay, so now there is how many fields can we track in the field history tracking. If I'll go to any object, let's say if I'll go to account object or something, so we have account brand, for example. Let me go to any objects. We are having a set history tracking. Okay, one second. So what is my profile? I think that's different. So let me go to contact, or this is a standard object. Okay, so on the contact level I can just see all these fields, right? So we can like these few fields are visible here. So but in this one, so we can see only few fields. Let's say if you are having 500 fields, I want to track those fields. I don't want to like track only these fields. But let's say we are having a long text area field, so long text area field would not be visible here. Okay, so if I want to track when this when my birthday date has been changed, whenever the claim status has been changed, whatever the amount has changed, whatever the cash assistant was changed, So I can see new value and previous value. But if there is a requirement where we can see all the fields, 500 fields, 1000 fields or anything, so on that time we need to go with the custom solution. What would be the custom solution? So it would be basically, let's say we are having a one account, a contact object. Under the contact object we can create history tracking, contact history tracking object. So we can give any object name for that one. Okay, so then we can have a flow builder on that object. So flow would be basically whenever we will change the value from, let's say contact value we are changing, long text area we are changing from ABC to XYZ or anything. So we can capture the new value, we can capture the old value, and accordingly we can create a new history tracking of records under the contact, right? So accordingly we can create a child record for that parent, and each and every place whenever we will change any value we can track those values under the contact object. Okay, so now we have what is global IP address. So global IP address is also quite important. So on the profile level, if I'll go to the profile, if I'll go to profile, in the profile level we have a option. Let's say if I'm going to system admin or this one. So in this one we have IP addresses, IP ranges, login IP ranges. If I want to make this IP ranges as global, so I can make it 000 and 255. This one 255.255.255.255. What is like global IP ranges? Reason is, for example, if I am sharing my credential with anyone, so if IP ranges is not set, so what will happen? So they will, I'll get a verification code. I need to share that verification code with that user. Okay. So if I don't want that verification code scenario, I can directly make it 00 this one, and I can set the global IP addresses, and accordingly I can save it. So no one will be getting the any IP range, means any verification code, if they are logging with this profile. Okay. So that is the IP ranges. So now what is network access basically? So we are having network access as well in Salesforce, similar to that. So network access basically, this is for global one. So let's say there is a requirement, there is a specific user. They want, like, if whenever they are logging in the Salesforce and they don't want to send the verification code to the manager or something. Let's say they have set the manager email ID, and definitely we will never be want like manager should get the verification code, and they will be giving the verification code from their like busy time, right? So what we will do, so we'll set, let's say you are the user, you want to log in with my username password. So I will ask you, please share the IP address from your laptop. You will share the IP for IP address, and I will set it here and I will save it. So accordingly, whenever you will try to log in, then definitely whatever the IP ranges you have, so that time you will not be able to get any verification code or something. So now what is user license we have in Salesforce? User license, basically it is quite important. Whenever we create any users in Salesforce, so we'll get an option for a user license. So whenever we create any user, and we'll go parallel in the company information as well. I'll compare and I'll show you. Yeah, so these are the users. So when I create any new user, so I'll get an option to select the license. So this is a license, user license. Okay, it's quite important. So whenever user license is also playing the very important picture, because this profile is totally dependent on the user license. So both are dependent to each other. So now if I'll go to company information, I want to see my user license. So how many has been used for Salesforce? This is quite important because Salesforce has all the privileges. Basically, will not be able to give any system admin profile and all the privileges to the users until we don't have this one. So now we have Salesforce license. We are having only two license. We have total license is two, and we have used two. Now how many is remaining? Zero. Okay, we don't have any license. So if I want to request, so I need to purchase more license. I need to spend some money on that, and accordingly I'll be able to see more. I'll be able to see the license from the in the Salesforce side. Okay, so now we have can we set the password complexity for the user whenever I'll create any users and for some particular profile? So can I set the complexity? Let's say there should be a 5 digit, 5 numbers or anything. So for that one, definitely we can do that. So if you go to profile and you'll go scroll down, and in this one, so these are the password policies we have. So we can say it should be expired in 90 days. So whatever the complexity, password complexity we should have, so we can just character like must include the alphanumeric characters or anything. And so accordingly maximum length can be the 8 or anything. Okay, so if we are trying, like they are trying to log in maximum with login attempt 10 times, it would be logged basically for 15 minutes. Okay, something like this we can do that. So similar to that, like if I user try to log in the Salesforce, then yeah, that would be login within a like 24 hours. Basically, they'll not be able to log in after 24 hours. Okay, for that one, so we are having a session setting, so they can be able to log out automatically after 24 hours basically. So now here I have set it the time for 15 minutes. Basically, that would be inactive if they are not doing anything in the system. They have logged in, so the system not be logged out within a 15 minutes. Like in the 16 minutes, that would be logged out automatically if you are not doing any activity over there. Okay, so now what is integration user profile basically? So integration user profile is playing the very important role in the picture. So integration profile mean to say, let's say if we are having third party Oracle or any third party, we are making integration with third party and Salesforce. So whenever I will share our API details with them, so I need to share the username and password for integration user. So that profile is not a different profile. Different profile mean to say it is also kind of very custom profile, similar to whatever the profile we create in the Salesforce on regular basis. So that profile we are using basically. So we can say it's an integration profile whenever in future, so if we are doing any integration work, so we'll use that profile only. Okay, with any third party. So always we cannot use any, let's say I have a sales executive profile and I'm giving that credential to the third party. That wouldn't work, right? Because we can track which profile user has made these changes. If that is an integration profile, it means we can check our code level. So business scenario would definitely would be differ in this scenario. So now if user need to migrate the record using data loader, which profile user should have? So definitely we need to create a data loader profile for that one. If we are having some other user as per their work, if I am the sales executive as per my work, so I'll give myself as a sales executive profile. If I have any admin and Salesforce admin and they are doing data migration, so they will have a data loader profile for that one. Okay, that is the best option. Now let's come to the user. So what is a user in Salesforce? So user is basically like if I'm using a Salesforce, I'm the user, right? So if I'm doing any activity in Salesforce, I can say this user is doing this activity. That is a user in Salesforce. I already like displayed the kind of user interface for user. So this is a user. So these are the quite important things for a user. I can fill all these details and I can create a user. So this is the like role is optional basically. So it is not, if you are not specifying anything, so it will not giving any errors and all. So if I'll create this user, so we directly can create it. Okay, so now when we create a user, so there is a two options. One is deactivate and second is freeze. So what is difference between deactivate and freeze? So if I will deactivate this user, what will happen? So whatever license I have, so that would be free. Means license mean to say, if I have let's say I have customer login, let me just show you another user, because this is a community user license. So let's say I have this one. So if I will deactivate this one, so I have two license in the Salesforce company information. So both are used for Salesforce license, right? So both are used. So now if I will deactivate this user, so whatever license we have for user, so that would be free. It will show one is available. Okay, license will be free if I will deactivate. But if I will freeze this user, so license will not be free. That would be basically for temporary purpose. We are not letting user to log in the Salesforce side. Might be user is on leave. So if it is on leave, we can say we are freezing that user. If user is permanently suspended, mean to say if he left the organization or something, so that time we can just deactivate that user, and whatever the license that user has, we can assign to some other user. Okay, so this is the difference between permanently suspended and temporarily suspended we have for both. Okay, so now we have login history in Salesforce. Whenever user is trying to log in Salesforce, so we can track their history. So at what place they have logged in, and when they have logged in, so which browser they are using. Let's say I'm going to my user, I'll go to setting, I'll go to my advanced user details. So there would be a kind of login history in the bottom. I can see here. So this is my login history. If I'll try to like download this one, so until like till 6 month, I can download this one, whatever 6 month records we have. So now this is showing which application I'm using, which browser I'm using, which window I'm using, and I'm using working in Salesforce Sandbox or production. My current location, I'm in Chandigarh, and my postal code and everything. It would be tracked basically. So this is the main benefit for the login history. And if you are trying to log in with you same username password some other locations, so company can track and they can ask like why you are logging with another locations. Okay, so now we are having a hierarchical relationship in Salesforce. So hierarchical relationship basically comes in the picture whenever, let's say, we have a user, and with user I want to create another relationship with user. So if I'll go to the few fields and click on the new button, so I would be able to see one relationship which is hierarchical relationship, this one. So this is a self relationship with the user only. So if I want to specify my user has a one manager, okay, manager has another manager. It's a kind of hierarchical relationship basically. Manager has like junior manager has a team leader has a like kind of Salesforce developer, then Salesforce developer, junior Salesforce developer, and trainee or something. So we can tag those users over there like junior senior. We can maintain the hierarchical tree, and we can provide specific IP address as I already mentioned. A network access. What is network access? Specific users IP we need to give here. Without we don't want to get the any verification code. That time we can use this network access basically. And we can like please share the type of the community yeah, so we are having multiple type of users. We can have a community user, we can have an internal user, and we can have a guest user. So we have a three type of user in Salesforce. So if I will create a simple user in Salesforce, let's say if I'll go to the users and I want to create a I want to create a direct user in Salesforce from the user page. So that is an internal user. So if I want to create a user from contact, like from contact we can create a user. So that is a community user. Okay, for the community cloud. If I'm creating a user from the let's say I'm not creating any user, but I'll create a public site. So if I have a public site, that time we can use it, that is a guest user. Okay, so that is a guest user. So now how to create a guest user, how to create a community user, and how to create an internal user. So guest user, definitely if I'll go to the site, and in this site, so this is a public site. Public site means to say anyone can log in this site. So they no need to log into the Salesforce directly. They can access this page. Okay. So now if I will go to this, let's say I'll go to this site, and I want to show you the guest user. So I will be able to see the guest user profile as well. So this is my employee portal. I'll go to public access setting. So now I have this user basically. Now whatever license we have, that is a guest user license we have. So if I'll go to the view user, like this is my user basically, site guest user employee portal. This is my username. So we no need to create this one, even we don't have any new button to create this user. So by default, this user would be created when you will create a public site. Okay, for creating a community user, so we will go to the contact object. So if we have set up the community in Salesforce side, so then we can activate that community and we can create a contact. And definitely that contact should have associated parent account. If we don't have an account, definitely we will not be able to create any community user. If I'll go there, and if there would be an option. One second. There would be an option. So do I have an account or not for this one? Let me see. We have. That button is not visible in lightning, I think, so that we can go to the page layout and we can drag and drop. But let me see on contact, sorry, in this one, classic. Oh, we have so many contacts. So we have so many contacts. Yeah. So here we have this button, manage external user button. I'll go to there and I can click on the enable user button. So it would redirect us on this page. So here we'll be able to see all the community related profile. Let's say if I have this profile available, and I can just go there and I can create a user. If I want to go some customer community or something, accordingly I can just give the any community license and I can create a new user. So then I'll work as a community user. Okay, so these are the differences. And now coming to the permission set, definitely everyone is aware what is permission set is always used for giving the grant access. So we cannot restrict any access with using permission set. If I have a profile and parallelly I have a permission set and both profile and permission set is assigned to the user. So if I have an extra permission in permission set more than profile, then permission set would work for specific permission. If I have a profile and I have more access on profile level and I have a list access on the permission set, definitely profile will work that on that time. So both are playing the important picture in their place. So permission set is keep in mind whenever we want to give extra access, we use a permission set. So permission set group. So if let's say if I'm creating a user, so I need to give 10 permission set to that user, assign 10 permission set to the user. Again, I'm creating new users. So again, I need to assign the 10 permission set to that particular user. So this is quite kind of irritating work, right? So to resolve that issue, Salesforce introduced new feature. So that is a permission set group. So it is a kind of group of permission set, and we can assign those group of permission set to the users at once. We no need to go to the one by one and assign those permission set to the users. So we on the same time we can assign. So now similarly we are having a permission set license. So when we create a users, when we create a permission set in Salesforce. So I think already opened this one. Yeah. So we are having a license here. Like whenever I will create any permission set, so there would be option to permission set license, and parallelly I'll show you that company information. So let's say if I'll create a new permission set, so I'll be able to see this license button, basic license here. So here, so I can assign that license to the user, and I can accordingly I can like this license to the permission set, and then I can create it. So similarly, I have some permission set licenses available here. So some are disabled, some are active. Okay, so now we have a permission set muting. So permissions and muting mean to say if I want to mute some permission set, I want that permission set shouldn't work for some particular time. Like for few days it should not work, or few minutes it should not work. I can mute that permission set basically. So can I assign the permission set only for one day? Yeah. So we are having expiry time basically. We can when we create a permission set, there would be option for until what time you want to assign that permissions. That might be within 30 days, 50 days, 3 months, 4 months, or something. Okay, so can we restrict the access? No, we cannot restrict the access using permission set. So we have some common questions for all the permission set users and profile. So first question is, can we integrate third party with Salesforce only specific profile users or permission set? So definitely, yeah, we can integrate the like third party with Salesforce for specific profile or permission set. So basically, we have let's say we have a requirement. So we are having a requirement. So we have 100 user in Salesforce, and I want if only that particular user only that particular user should be integrate third party with Salesforce. If I will share my credential with third party and make an integration, so they should not be able to make the integration. If I will share specific credential, that only they will be able to integrate, otherwise not. So for that one, what we will do, so if I'll go to the profile, so in the profile level, we are having some options here. Let's say we are having an external credential named principal. Okay, so we are having principal access. We are having a named credential. So we are having some kind of like other access. Basically, let's say we have some external data source. So these are the accesses we need to provide to that some particular profile. Similar to that, these options are also similarly available in the permission set as well. That also we can provide it. Okay. So user build a functionality in Salesforce using the Apex class and Visual Force that is working in dev work, but after deployment in production, that functionality is not working. So what might be the reason? So reason is, so if there is a kind of Apex class and Visual Force page LWC or Aura component that is working in one org and it is not working in another org after deployment. So there might be an option, there might be an issue. So we don't have access for that particular Visual Force page or might be for that particular Apex class. So let me show you here. So if I have this enabled Apex class option here, I'll click on the edit button, and let's take example, we have account controller, and account controller I need to give the access and I can save it. Similar to that, we have a Visual Force page as well. I can go there and I can give that access. So that might be the issue. So make sure whenever you deploy the component in another role, so you should have that access. Okay, just allow me a 1 minute, please. Yeah, I'm back. So now these are the differences. Now let's come. A department need to see the field on the record, but shouldn't be able to edit it. Another department should be able to see it and all. So let's say we have a two department. We have one sales department. We have another service department, and one department is saying I want to see those fields on the record level, and another department is saying I don't want to see those fields on that record level, some particular record level. So we have many ways to achieve this requirement. One is might be both have the different profiles. Let's say sales has different profile, service has a different profile. If both have a different profile, on the one profile we can give the some read access on that record level, and second is we can give the read and edit. Basically we can give the visible access and all for another profile level, right? So we can give this access on the behalf of the profiles. Second option is one profile we can give the read access, and if both sales and service has the same profile, so we can give the read access on the profile level, and we can assign the permission set to the service profile, service users basically. So all the users we can assign that permission set. In that permission set, we'll have a read and edit access for that field level. Okay, so we can have so many other ways we can achieve using record type and page layout as well. So we have multiple ways to achieve this one. So we can also have the flexi page or something on the behalf of conditions. So now we have another question, have you managed a situation where organization was running the out of license and we needed to create a new users in the developer? Yeah, definitely we have. So let's take example. What does it mean? It means whenever if I'll try to create a new user and I don't have Salesforce license, but requirement is I need to create a Salesforce license user only, but I don't have that Salesforce license available in the Salesforce. How can I do that? So there is an option. So you can query the users which login as per the login history, which user has been logged in last 6 months. We can check and we can deactivate that user because we are paying freely in the company, right? So why we are paying the free if user is not logging in the Salesforce, then we don't need to pay that amount to the Salesforce. We directly can use that. We can manage that license within the Salesforce, and we can assign that license to the another user, and we can create a new user. Okay, so this is quite important question. What is difference between profile public group and queue? Public group is a group of users. Queue is also kind of group of user, but public group is used whenever we want to share the records with some users, set of users. I want to share the records, so that time I'll create a public group. Queue is basically created so whenever we want to keep users in a queue. Let's say in a call center, if I'm calling in the call center and I need to wait until a representative is not available, so that time they will keep me on queue, right? I need to wait, like might be they'll be available in 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes or whatever. So these are the difference between public queue and group. So public group example is in sharing rules. We can share the records with a group of user. So queue is basically we can assign to the owner of the records. So whenever we have our owner ID in Salesforce, we can make it for some particular user, or we can make it a queue, some complete team, might be service team or something. Public group can be used in Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, or all the clouds, but queue mostly we used in the Service Cloud mostly. Okay, so these are the things for today. So if you guys have any questions, might be you have faced some challenging part in your interview time or something, and you have some very tough questions. So please do let me know on the comment, or you have you have my number on the like description box. You can directly call me. Okay, so I'll try to give as much as best I can give. So thank you so much, guys.